Welcome everybody live to Michigan International Raceway here for race number 14 of Season 1 National Motorsports Xfinity Series. Sorry for the late start to the broadcast. Irison's been, if you do not know, Irison's been having some issues tonight. Many people know that, so yeah, I apologize. I just got my Irison to finally work in here. Only lap 3, so I missed a couple of laps. CJ Gates started on pole, however, currently Jim Ott is the race leader. It looks like Justin Wilson did not actually make it to tonight's race, unfortunately for him, so he's going to have to sit this one out. But certainly has had a dominant season so far, so it's not going to hurt him too badly in points. As trying to still get everything set up here. Hope you all having a wonderful Sunday evening here. Or night, wherever you are. As Jim Law continues to hold the lead right now over CJ Gates and Jeffrey Meyer. 7 competitors out here on track here tonight. Last week was a great finish between Chase Berry and Justin Wilson. Much like what we had in the Cup race today, but it was a lot closer last week. So it's going to be interesting to see here if we can get another one of those. But Jim Ott right now, the class of the field. Also, unfortunately, I do not have my other commentator, Stephen Gale, in the booth tonight. He currently is on vacation, so he's currently not with us. But nevertheless, I'm still up here. So yeah, Jim Ott currently holds the race lead over his teammate CJ Gates. Jeffrey Meyer not far behind right there in P3. As looks like they're side by side back here for 5th. So the 85 machine made its first start last week at Pocono. Unfortunately got taken out in lap 4 to get involved in this for Atchison. Looks like he's trying to go underneath the 42 Donald Floyd for that 5th position. I should believe Donald Floyd may have actually passed him, but Jim Ott continues to hold the race lead. Also, stage laps are on laps 30 and 60. Those are the stage ends for tonight. So, lap 30, caution will be thrown. Everybody in the race will get stage points. This is only 7 drivers on track, and they all pit and then come back out and race for stage 2. Lap 60, caution will be thrown. Same thing. Everybody will get points based off where they finished. And we'll go from there. Right now, looks like the 11 machine of Chase Berry with a patriotic Lego paint scheme here tonight. Looking pretty sharp. Got the 50 machine Jeffrey Meyer also with a nice patriotic paint scheme like he usually does when it comes to patriotic races. So, I like to see the red, white, and blue on these cars over here. Nice looking paint schemes. So, field's currently in turn 2. Jim Ott continues to hold the race lead for now, and to see if CJ Gates is trying to make a move on him here. And your winners so far this season, Jason Barham, he has 2 wins, winning at Daytona, Talladega, a couple of plate tracks. The 48 machine, Stephen Landon, he won Las Vegas. Atlanta, I don't remember who's won that by, but Justin Wilson pretty much won from Auto Club all the way until Pocono, not through Pocono, but until Pocono. Besides Talladega, Jim Ott, he won Phoenix. So we've had quite a few different winners so far. We've had if we can come that all up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different winners. Chase Berry winning last week, his first career win. So CJ Gates in that 2nd position, looking to try to get his first career win. He's been close. Definitely run consistently in the top 3 for most races. It's usually Jim Ott, or usually Justin Wilson, Jim Ott, and Chase Berry in the top 3, but he's definitely one up there. And been in contention. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to pull it off yet, but he's looking to try to do that here tonight. He's kind of running the outside lane, actually, along with Chase Berry. It's going to be interesting to see if that's faster than the inside lane where Jim Ott's currently running. benefit is you get the run off the corner, and with the straightaways at this track and how fast they're going, it usually does pay off. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in that 13 machine. Chase Berry still right there in that third. I really do like that paint scheme, so that looks pretty sharp. But yeah, you got Jeffrey Meyer right there. It's a pretty sharp looking American paint scheme right there. And these guys are still down out here for the 5th position. 42 Donald Floyd and the 85 of Chris Hahn. These guys still going out of here. You got the Mike / Mellow Yellow 85 machine now currently holding off Donald Floyd for that 5th position. While I believe Atchison kind of just rides around here in 7th, taking it nice and easy, not damaging the car or anything. And the thing is, at this track, it's definitely slick, but can also be tight. It's one of those race tracks where you're never really like in a good handling race car. It's either loose or it's tight, and these guys are gonna be screaming for tires pretty much whenever they can get them. And right now, though, the top 3 all only separated by a second, as CJ Yates continues to hold in that 0.3, about 3.5 tenths behind Jim Ott. So it's interesting to see what he can do with that. See if he can gain. Unfortunately, right there, I think he tried running the bottom. That actually cost them more time, if anything. And so he was going to kind of run the high line right there until that lap. So now he's kind of falling back a bit. Chase Berry now trying to pressure him for that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Meyer's kind of falling off. He's 4th place. These guys still battling. Looks like Donald Floyd's going to get around Chris Hahn this lap. And Atchison continues to ride in 7th position. So everybody pretty much single file. The only battle really right now is, I mean, second's heating up, but these 2 guys right here have been battling that ever since the drop of the green flag. So, and interesting to see what they can do. Make sure not to wreck. That's the main part. Where I just continue to ride right there in 7th position. But it looks like Chase Berry, he was catching CJ right there, trying to get a run on him. Unfortunately, he cannot. So he's going to continue to ride behind him for now. And just kind of cruise right now. So we're going to see. Again, this is a pretty long race, 150 laps, and at the 2-mile racetrack, that's 300 miles. So this is actually about a full-length Xfinity Series race. So definitely a long race. No need to push the car too hard. No reason to. As they're crossing stuff finish last time, will be lap 15. About straight away, it looks like Chase Berry and CJ Gates have kind of fallen off a bit from Jim Ott. Maybe Jim is trying to pull one of Justin's moves. Because maybe kind of, maybe learn from a little bit. Got to save the tires early on the run, use them up in the later part of the run. So we're halfway through stage 1 now at this point. But Jim Ott out front right now. Up to a 1-second lead. And actually Chase Berry, is he going to pit road? He is. Chase Berry on pit road. Jeffrey Meyer at a 4th place follows. Chris Hahn going to stay out along with Donald Floyd. And Atchison's also going to come down pit road. So half the field just pitted right there. We're going to see what Jim Ott and the other leaders do here. And fresh tires are pretty key. Especially if you short pit like about 1 lap, cut the stage in half, you're going to gain quite a bit of time, because that 1 lap gains you quite a bit of time. And actually, Jim Ott's continuing to stay out, so that's 2 laps now. He's going to have older tires, and so does CJ Gates. So they're going to have older tires, the other guys are going to catch, but when these guys pit, they're not going to be that much faster because they only have 2 lap fresher tires. So it's really beneficial to pit early, just so you can get those fresh tires, gain time, while other guys are still up there in really old ones. So it's interesting to see you win the 3 and the 13 decide to come down pit road along the 85. As you see Chase Berry come off pit road right there, exactly 1 lap down. And then goes Jeffrey Meyer. Donald Floyd also continues to stay out. Atchison now coming off pit road in the number 88 machine. And that Batman slash GameStop mobile. Nice paint scheme for him. Last week at Pocono, he ran a nice Superman paint scheme as he's actually on the apron. Might be coming back down pit road. Maybe a speeding penalty or something. Yeah, looks like he's going to come back down pit road. Meanwhile, Jim Ott from the race lead decided to pit. So Roy Atchison going to come back down pit road and flies it down into pit road. So must be doing something. You know, Jim Ott, your race leader on pit road right now. That's where Atchison just slides into Jeffrey Meyer's pit stall right there. Not quite sure what's going on with that, but Jamont, he's going to take 4 tires and gas, roll back out on track here. It's going to be interesting to see. Donald Floyd's actually also in his pit stall. Quite a bit of right front damage. It was interesting to see as A5 Chris Hahn almost spinning it right there coming down pit road. Did a great job locking it down, not speeding. CJ Gates from the race lead. He's going to actually pit. So Chris Hahn going to pit. And it looks like Chase Berry did not actually pick up that much time from that. He's still going to be P2 actually, so it looks like he passed CJ Gates so far. He has not quite gone off that road yet. He's got right sides up in the air, so I think they're definitely going to pass him here. But looks like Jim Ott going to continue to hold the race lead. We have 10 to go here left in stage 1, or maybe not. There's CJ Gates. Yeah, looks like he's going to fall back to 3rd, I believe. Maybe even 4th. We're going to see if Jeffrey Meyer can get around him on the outside. He's going to run that kind of outside lane. He's going to have the momentum. We're going to see, yeah, things are going to blow by him right here. So it looks like Jeffrey Meyer going to get up to 4th here, where he was before. Or Chris Hahn, though, I believe, is still on pit road. Oh, where's Chris Hahn? Chris Hahn, maybe. Oh, wait, I think we're going to come around with the scoring to set it through. We're going to see. So Jim Ott picks the race lead. Now we have 10 to go in stage 1. As you see, Jeffrey Meyer and CJ Gates, that battle right there for 3rd, actually. So it looks like CJ went from all the way from 2nd to 4th. Lost 2 spots on that pit stop. Definitely not a key pit stop for him, as now we have 6 cars left on track. It's actually 7 cars. Where Atchison returned back to the track. 2 laps down, however. Donald Floyd is also 2 laps down. I believe he may have pulled it behind the wall, actually. So we have 10 laps to go here. Yeah, he did pull it on the wall, so Jim Ott can cross our finish line. Donald Floyd has now quit, so he will go 3 laps down and continue to go the rest of this race. So now we have 6 cars left on track, 5 on the lead lap. Pretty small field, unfortunately, tonight. Definitely a little bit disappointing after last week. We had the great battle pretty much all race long. We had a lot of guys up front changing out. You had Jess Wilson up front, Chase Berry up front. You had Jim Ott up front. And, you know, a lot of guys really, Jeffrey Meyer even kind of putting pressure on them. Fortunately, you know, this race, not the same, but that's just part of racing. So we had different racetracks. I think also the iRacing issue had a lot of things, you know, a lot of reasons why people couldn't come out, unfortunately, tonight. As you know, I ended up joining and starting the broadcast late because it started, because I didn't get in until so late. So it's, you know, kind of unfortunate that all happened, but it's part of the sim sometimes. As you see Atchison right there, he's already 2 laps down. We're going to go 3 laps down now. As it looks like Chip Moss can continue to cruise away for that. 3.5 seconds ahead of Chase Berry, who's now in 2nd. CJ Gates got around Jeffrey Meyer for 3rd, and he's going to drive away from him now. So I mean, you just see Chris Hahn currently 5th, top 5 right now, last car on the lead lap. So, but I guess we're actually moving down low out of the way of Jim Ott. So he's going to go another lap down. He'll be 3 laps down, maybe even 4 actually. I'm not quite positive on that. And he's going to come back down, maybe not. Okay, he's going to pit right there, but I think he's got kind of loose on the apron. So. Out front, 6 laps to go here in stage 1. Let's see, we're Atchison 3 laps down. Donald Floyd continuing to stay behind the wall, so he's going to go several laps down. and finished at last here tonight, unfortunately. So it's going to be 5 cars in lead lap. 6 left on track, so fortunately for Roy, with how little cars are left on track, it's not going to be really any cautions to get all his laps back. So it looks like he's going to fortunately be stuck right there in that 6th position pretty much all the rest of the night. So tough break for him as he's 3 laps down. Not quite sure why I came back down pit road like that and kind of just flew in and probably got a speeding penalty too, but maybe something he had to do as an admin. So fortunate break for him, but P6 nevertheless. So Jim Mott out front, up to almost a 5-second lead before the end of stage 1. So he's going to have just 4 laps to go this time by. And again, the Atchison issue caused a lot of problems tonight. Maybe even a reason why Justin Wilson didn't make it out tonight. So that's going to kind of shake things up, but nothing much happened right now to the field. We're just kind of cruising for a Sunday drive, quite literally. Is Jeffrey Meyer at the wall right there, trying to chase back down CJ Gates. Got into the outside wall. It's like he was able to get it back up, didn't get too severe damage. Chris Hahn continuing to just ride right here in his 5th position, nice and quiet, keeping his car nice and clean for the end of it. 3 laps to go in stage 1. Jamont out front right now. Two to go in stage 1. Looks like CJ Gates is actually catching on Chase Berry a little bit here for the 2nd position. Going to be interesting to see if he can make a late stage charge here to try to get up to Chase Berry. It looked like CJ was going to be kind of the guy to give Jim, run for his money, but unfortunately he's just back there in 3rd. I think he kind of had a bad pit stop, lost 2 spots, and now he's trying to chase back down Chase Berry for that 2nd for stage points. That'd be 9 stage points, so pretty crucial, but just 1 extra point pretty much if you look at it that way. So he's going to have 1 to go here. Last lap for stage 1. So the battle for 2nd not going to really happen unless something happens and the caution already comes out. So stage caution come out lap early, but nevertheless we'll take it. So yeah. Take a look at results top to bottom here for stage 1. Jim Mott picks up the stage win once again here. Pretty good season for him. And since just Wilson's not here, he's going to be the dominant guy here tonight. Chase Berry right there in 2nd after his win last week. So definitely looking to try to back it up with a good finish here tonight. CJ Gates in 3rd, Jeffrey Meyer 4th, Chris Hahn in the last car in the lead lap. Atchison 3 laps down right now in 6th. And Donald Floyd put down the wall. He's going to finish 7th in this stage, so still get 3 stage points, I believe. Or no, excuse me, 4 stage points. So, just see everybody kind of try to catch up to Jim Mott. You put to a pretty big lead there, so interesting to see. But we are going to go to a commercial break right after the pit stop. So it looks like Atchison is going to get one of his laps back. He weighed 2 laps down then in that Batmobile. They're going to head down pit road here to make their 2nd pit stops of the night. Leader Jim Ott going to lead the field then on the pit road. So we're going to head all the way down to the end of the pit road, or beginning of the pit road if you want to call it that, to get to their pit stalls. So they all go, fanning out into their pit stalls. Chase Berry and first right there. Jamont Gates going to have the very first pit stall. See, slowly rolls into his, is nice and cautious. You see the times right there on the bottom left. See who can beat Jim off pit road, if anybody. Looks like Jamont. Nope, he's going to pull off first. CZ Gates out second. Chase Berry out third. Chris Hahn out fourth. And Jeffrey Meyer continues to sit in his pit stall. So, fortunate for him, Chase Berry lost one spot. CZ Gates picked up one. Chris Hahn picked up one. And Jeffrey Meyer lost one. So, pretty normal about the field. Meanwhile, Jamont, your stage 1 winner here tonight. We're going to see what he can do in stage 2 if he can go back-to-back stages. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. Oh, oh. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl. I wanna be the man that saves the world. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back everybody live to Michigan International Raceway for race number 13, the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series here. Stage 1 in the books, Jamont picking up the stage 1 and the 10 bonus points. Chris lights are off, we're going to go back green flag racing here. Chris Electric Hook on the pit lane, feels in the hand of Jamont. When does he go back green? There he goes. Back green flag, good racing at Michigan. We're ready to turn 1. Jim Mott with a great restart. Chase Berry actually with a good restart also is going to follow suit for that second position. Almost came up on Susie Gates right there. Looks like they're all going to go a single file down the back straightaway. Atchison in that 4th position right now. Jeffrey Myers still in 5th. Go the way and work their way into turn 3 here. Chase Berry digging that really low line, trying to find a line that Jim's not running to try to get underneath him. Inside lane is just faster here in short runs. So we're going to see what these guys are going to have for him. I just right on board now with the 11 machine of Chase Berry, our reigning race winner. Last week at Pocono just by a mere 100th of a second over Justin Wilson at Pocono. We're going to see who he has for Jim Mott now this race. Again, second stage ends on lap 60, so they're racing to that number, lap 60, for a caution to be thrown. And once again, just like what we saw, we got about 24 laps until we get to that point right now. So pretty far away. Pit stop will happen in between. Question is, when do these guys pit? We saw some pit strategy last time. It cost some guys some time, gained some for others. So see Chase Berry is kind of maybe burning his tires just a bit. On board now with Susie Gates, number 13 machine right there in P3. He actually led 2 laps because he stayed out there for a little bit while the reflex pit stop cycles were happening. Let's see how fast it goes into turn 1 right here. 197, 198, 190. Looks like he was doing 198 was the fastest he got up to right there. So these guys are going fast. They're still all within 3/10 of each other though. Chase Berry, I said he was kind of falling back, but now it's right in the rear bumper of Jim Mott. Let's see if he can do anything with that. Jim Mott, he's led 35 laps coming across their finish line this time. So 35 laps here tonight. And he already picked up stage 1 win, so let's see what we can do here in stage 2. Continuing just to dominate right now. But all but 3 laps. 3 of those were all because of the pit cycle, so Chase Berry tried to let him get away though, right there behind him. Let's see what he can do here. Getting that run to the back straightaway. He's looked to the inside. Not quite, is not quickly enough for a run to do so, but now CG Gates all the back bumper of Chase Berry. Chase got a little bit tight right there. Still the track, but then Jim gets tight on the exit, so it's going to allow Chase to get a good run on Jim now. He's going to try to look to get around him right in the rear bumper of Jim Mott, and then front straightaway they go. See, as they headed to turn 1, about 196 miles an hour. Fastest we're seeing tonight, so. Down the back straightaway here. Everybody kind of still in the blanket right now. Top 5 all still in the blanket of 1 second of each other. Chris Hahn doing a great job right there in 4th, still holding off Jeffrey Meyer for that position. Not letting these top 3 get away too easily. He's looking around just the 20 laps to go here in stage 2. Vermont's still leading right now. Chase though has got a good run on entry. Make sure he doesn't burn up his tires though for the exit and for the second part of this run. Last time they went almost 20 laps. I think we started seeing green pit stops around lap 16. Instead of last green pit stop on lap 19. So I'm interested to see here when these guys pit because they went back green flag on lap 34. So that will put us on the pit stop, the pit window between lap 50 and lap 53, so a few laps before the stage. We'll see anybody just take 2 tires, or somebody just take a gas or splash and go and get to the end of the stage, since we know they're all going to pit again. So it looks like CJ Gates, he's kind of falling back off the rubber of Chase for that second position. So now Chase trying to hunt down Jim Ott, since now he has no pressure from behind. Meanwhile, Chris Hahn, all the back from rubber of CJ Gates, now looking to the inside for that position. I think we've been in for a run out of turn 4. He's going to try to get in that draft for that 13 machine. All Fords out here right now, except for Atchison, who's currently 2 laps down in 6th. He'll get one of his laps back for the stage caution, which means just like last week, he's going to need another caution to get. He's going to need an incident caution pretty much to get one of his laps back. So currently 5 cars left on the lead lap, 6 cars on the track. See right tonight there. Cruising in the back straight away. You know, Chase Berry I think he may have burned up his tires, because now he's falling back off the rear bumper of Jim Ott. But again, we're going to see the pit window open here in about 7 laps. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys decide to pit. What kind of strategy they take. Do they take 4 tires in fuel, 2 tires in full fuel? Does it get splash and go? What's going to go on this pit stop? You saw CJ Gates, he lost 2 positions last time on pit road. Came in 2nd, came off 4th, and managed to get back to 3rd place before the end of the stage. So I'm interested to see what he does here in this stage. There's another side-by-side back there now for that 3rd position. Actually, Jeffrey Meyer now trying to look to get around CJ Gates. He got around Chris Hahn. Now he's looking for that 3rd position underneath the 13 machine, or side-by-side as they worked on the back straightaway. He's going to clear the 13 machine for that 3rd position for now. CJ Gates looking back underneath, trying to pull a crossover right now for that 3rd position. These guys racing extremely hard now, side by side. Going back straight away, looks like CJ Gates going to fall in behind him, try to get that draft. Turns 3 and 4. Looks like Jim Ott pulled away now by a 1.2 second lead away from Chase Berry. I think kind of burned up his tires trying to catch the leader. He's 14. We have 14 laps until the end of this stage. Looks like nobody has pitted yet. From Marcel in that 3rd position. CJ Gates, we saw him lead the majority of the guys down pit road the first time. He's the first one to pit. Everybody else kind of followed him the same lap, except for the leader and a couple of guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. Actually, I take that back. He actually stayed out the longest, like we usually see him do. He stayed out the longest, and then he was the last one to pit. So I apologize about that. Got it mixed up. I believe Chase Berry, I said that actually. He's going to be the first one to pit. But I believe Chase Berry may have been the first one actually last time to pit. But yeah, we're going to see. I was talking about it earlier, and I accidentally got mixed up. This time he actually did pit. So I predicted the future. So we're going to see CJ Gates. He's down on pit road. We're going to see what his pit stop time is here. So look for the rest of the field. Jim Ott continue to stay out. Let's see what he does this lap though. Does he pit this time? He's got to know that CJ is going to gain a lot of time by pitting early. Every lap that he turns on those fresh tires is going to be faster. So everybody's going to stay out though. Atchison, even he's going to stay out. Currently 6th place right now. Last car on the track. Jim Ott continues to lead over Chase Berry right now. Jeffrey Meyer in 3rd. There you see CJ Gates getting off pit road in 5th right now. Chris Hahn in 4th. So we're going to see when these guys make their pit stops, because now that 13 machine's pitted, he's going to have fresh tires. These guys got to come down pit road. They're going to lose time to that 13 machine. he's on his fresh tires. But the question is, does Jim just decide to go all the way? So he has the pit, decides to take a splash of fuel, takes maybe no tires, maybe 2 tires, and he comes back out still the race leader by even bigger margin. Maybe an actually he did it last time, because he got out by a pretty big lead maybe. So interesting to see what he's going to do here as Chase Berry continues to fall back right now. I think he kind of burned up with stuff. 1.9 seconds back, pretty much 2 seconds back at this point. 2.5 seconds back now, back to Jeffrey Meyer in that 3rd position. So, and Stacey Gates going around an 85 machine. Chris Holland is in 4th right now. Stacey Gates he's still a lap down. So he's just trying to work on getting back up to the front as Jim Ott going to come around the start-finish line. 10 laps to go here in stage 1. Chase Berry's going to forfeit 2nd place to Jeffrey Meyer. He's going to come down pit road. That'll have to be, I believe, under 50 or 55. So Chase Berry comes down pit road. Or maybe it's 60. It's 60, okay. Just keeping it nice and easy. 60 miles an hour, kind of just fluttering over that right now. Make sure he's not getting a speeding penalty. Keeping nice and cautious as Dumont just continues to stay out along with Jeffrey Meyer. This time by will be 9 to go in the end of the stage. You see the Gates right there. He's already gaining time by pitting early with his fresh tires. So I think Jim might end up taking fuel only. I want to see if Jeffrey does this lap. Does he pit? No. So 9 to go here in stage 1. Jim Ott continues to hold the race lead. Officially now 9 to go left in this stage. You see Chase Berry still there. Chris Holland's going to come out of 3rd place, though. He's going to pit. You see, there's Chase Berry coming back off pit road. Looks like he's actually going to get past, looks like by CJ Gates. Yes. Not by a ton, but CJ Gates is going to come out. That's all the difference right there. There's a couple laps that he pitted earlier. There's fresher tires. Now, Jake's going to have a little bit fresher tires, but not too much. It looks like Jim's going to head down pit road this time. Make sure he does not speed on pit road. 60 miles an hour. He's going to slow down to 50 miles an hour, actually, looks like. So, really cautious pit road entrance there to Jim Ott. He had a big race lead. No need to, get yourself a black flag and for speeding on pit road. So, it looks like Jeffrey Meyer is going to fall in Jim as we now have 8 laps to go here in stage 1. So, Chris Hahn was 3rd. Looks like CJ Gates is going to pick up that 3rd position, though. Atchison also in. 2 laps down still, though. Actually, maybe even 3. No, he's still 2 laps down. So there you see CJ Gates. There's Chase Berry. These guys battling for, will be 3rd place, I believe. Maybe 2nd. Not really battling, but looks like CJ just kind of driven away with it from Chase. But there's Jim Ott coming off pit road, actually. There's CJ Gates in 2nd. He's catching, but it's not going to be enough. Looks like Jim's going to have him right here. Yeah, that's a pretty big gap, actually. There's CJ Gates. He tried, pitted a couple laps early, gained a little bit of time, got up to 2nd, actually. He was, I believe, in 4th before. So last time he came in 2nd, came off 4th. This time he comes in 4th and comes off 2nd. So, great pit stop by Jim Ott. And he shorted a little bit, but not too much. To the point that he was, he's losing time now. So, he's going to be 2nd place as Chase Berry is 3rd, Jeffrey Meyer in 4th. 7 laps to go here in stage 2. Chris Hahn back to 5th place where he was before he came in. It looks like Atchison going to hit again, maybe a black flag potentially. So interesting to see if he can make this back up. Unfortunately, I don't think he will be able to, as there's just no cars out on track. We've not had a single incident caution, only 1 caution so far tonight. For the stage end, we're going to have another one here in about 6 laps. And that's the only cautions we're going to probably end up having tonight, unless something goes crazy on this restart. So, the field just gets so spread out since we only have 5 cars the lead lap and 6 on track in general. So, Rogers are not going 3 laps down, potentially even 4 laps down when they come back around. Not the night he was looking for, but either way, he's going to finish 6th place. There's not a ton of guys showed up tonight. Only 7 drivers showed up to start tonight's race, so Jim Ott's gonna come around here. Just 5 laps to go in stage 2. Run on board now with gyro cam. as he works his way through turns 1 and 2. Put a bit of bank in, but pretty wide racetrack here at Michigan International Raceway, NASCAR's fastest track. So we're just gonna take a little ride on board now. Jim Mott, your race leader, as we have 4 laps to go here in stage 2. CJ Gates is the race lead, actually, over Jim Mott. Interesting, right there. I believe Jim may have not taken, he must have not taken tires. He must have tried to just take fuel only to try to gain time. CJ pitted early, gained time by doing that, and now he just passed the 3 machine for the race lead. While we're on that little, on board with the gyro cam for the 3 machine. You saw it right there live. So CJ Gates out front, kind of running that high line, which is definitely an interesting line. Now Jeffrey Meyer actually right in the rear bumper of Jim Mott. Yeah, I don't think Jim took tires that pit stop. And we can always see right here. Yeah, he took 2 tires. It was 2 tires, no tires, while Jeffrey and CJ and Chase actually they all took looks like 4 tires. Oh, Chase looks like he was taking 2. I think Jim actually took fuel only because he only had a 7-second pit stop. Meanwhile, Chase had a 10-second. Jeffrey and CJ only had a 15 and 14-second pit stop. So looks like Chris also took 2 tires. But yeah, Jim didn't take any and all things. So he's gonna fall back to 3rd, probably even 4th here as we're in the last lap of the stage. And oh, contact for race leaders! Jeffrey Meyer gonna spin down onto the apron, manages to get it back up and save it. And that's gonna guarantee. Oh no! Looks like that cost Chase Berry out front. He's going to pull a slide job on Jim Ott for the race lead here for the stage victory. Looks like he may be able to hold off Jim Ott coming across the finish line. No, Jim's going to get the run. And it looks like he's going to pick up the stage victory. We're going to wait for the caution flag. That's when the official stage ends. This is still racing. Door-to-door is going into turn 1. Chase sends it in deep. We're going to wait for the caution flag. And Jim now gets tight, slides up, and there's the caution flag. Apologize for that, but yeah. So it looks like, oh no, Jeffrey Meyer got the race lead. Oh. I guess he managed to save it and get the race lead. I was looking for the battle for a second, apparently. So it looks like Jeffrey Meyer, he's going to win the race. Or not the race, the stage. Chase Berry's going to finish 2nd. Jim Ott in 3rd. We're going to wait across the finish line for everything to get sorted out. So yes, Jeffrey Meyer going to come out with the stage victory. Chase Berry's going to come out 2nd. Jim Ott 3rd. Suzuki Gates 4th. Chris Hahn 5th. We're at 4 laps down right there in 6th. Donna Floyd still out of the race in 7th. So take a look back at what happened there between the 50 and 13 machine there. I think Jeffrey kind of just got tight, slipped the racetrack, kind of go for that lead and made contact with the 13 machine. And that kind of really cost the 13 machine. Got a nice big dent in the door, as you saw right there. So, comes out the corner, and yeah, just slids up the track. I think the 13 was kind of lower than the 50 would expect him to be. So you see Jeffrey goes down the track. 13, Suzuki Gates does a great job of getting it back up, not spinning that car, not wrecking. See, he got sideways again right there. That's what really cost him time. Did a great job. Managed to lock it down. And not lock it down, but, you know, managed to keep it straight and not cause a big old wreck. You see Chase Berry getting sideways there, trying to go underneath them as he's trying to go 3 wide on the apron. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Meyer just kind of pulls away. I'm gonna ride on board now with the 13 machine, as they made contact up here for the race lead. So on the onboard cam here, the 13 machine. 50 gets into the side of it, makes contact. He's kind of turning back left and right, trying to make sure he doesn't spin it. Gets out of the throttle just a bit, make sure he has to gather back up. Gets past and split 3 wide. Gonna fall like the 4th, but still manages just to not wreck. So obviously a good thing for him, as Jeffrey Meyer, he's gonna pull away, he's gonna pull away with the stage victory, as now the field just made their pit stops. And it looks like Chase Berry actually came off pit road first. Susie Gates went from 4th up to 2nd. Jim Hunt stayed in 3rd. And Jeffrey Meyer fell all the way from 1st to 4th. Chris Hahn in 5th, where Atchison going his laps back. He's now 3 laps down once again, as Chris Hahn decided to take up the blue cone. As we're going to a quick commercial break, don't go away, we'll be right back.
Calling a hotline and speaking with a stranger about your suicidal thoughts may seem daunting, but there's nothing to worry about. Let's walk through what happens when you call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. When you dial the hotline, your call will go to a center full of volunteers that will ensure you remain anonymous. You may be placed on hold for a few moments while the volunteers finish helping other callers, but they do care about you. Please wait to be patched through. Once a volunteer answers your call, they will let you know that they're there to listen. Be open about your thoughts and feelings. If you seem to be in immediate danger, the volunteer will track down emergency services in your local area. When the volunteer is certain you aren't in immediate danger, they will ask you some questions like these. Do you feel like you can't go on any longer? Do you have a plan? Do you have access to therapy? Answer questions honestly. The volunteers will not be judgmental. They simply want to help you in any way they can. Some people call the hotline to speak with a sympathetic listener more than once. Many callers report later that calling in was extremely helpful. If you are struggling with thoughts of suicide or know someone who is, please call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline now at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1 for military members, veterans, and concerned family and friends.
Back live here to the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series. Live racing here Brought to you by Pop Box Accessories along with two submarines with official partners with Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series. So, stage 2 now in the books here tonight. As Chase Berry going to lead the field back to green flag, trying to go for back-to-back. Pace car down on the pit road. Chase Berry has a great launch, and he's away for the race lead. Also, again, we want to apologize. The 85 machine apparently did not kill the cone. It was our race leader, so just clean that up there. I did, in fact, hear driver radio, so right now, Chase Berry out front looking to try to go back-to-back. He came out of nowhere pretty much last week at Pocono. Ran the top 3 kind of quietly, but then got his way up to the race lead and never looked back. So we're going to see if we can try to do that here tonight. It's actually, Cecilia Gates got around Jim Ott for that 2nd position. Jeffrey Meyer right there in that 4th position. As Jim Ott right in the rear bumper of CJ Gates, looking to the outside now, trying to get it back around him. 13 throwing the blocks, 3 fakes him, goes down low with the preferred line. Gonna clear 13 machine for now. CJ Gates fights back hard on the outside lane. Meanwhile, these guys all getting really feisty for the 2nd position. Chase is driving away. Jamont goes down low, trying to get underneath the 13 machine of CJ Gates. He's at 53 laps here tonight, won stage 1. And that pet strategy cost him stage 2, but right now he's P3, still looking to try to go out for this win. And all the guys, you see them running that high line on the straightaways, and then they arc it down low. And not only does that kind of save your tires a little bit, because you're not straining your tires, you're not turning your wheel as much when you do that. However, that's not what Jim's doing right now. You see right there, he's entering actually a little bit lower. So it's kind of an interesting line for Jim Ott right there. As it looks like Chase Berry's now pulled out to a half-second lead over CJ Gates. He's still in the range of Jim Ott right there. Jim Ott trying to be number 3 machine and intimidate that 13. Jumps down low. He's still trying to find a way to get around him, but I think he's not being too aggressive. He knows this is actually Jeffrey Myers underneath him for that 4th position now. So now he's in risk of losing another position. It looks like the 50 machine is gonna back off for that 4th position. Got a little bit tight, set up the track a little bit. Didn't want to repeat what happened earlier, so he's gonna back off. Chris Hahn and right there in 5th. He's actually still in position for this one as well. So, and CJ Gates closing a little bit on our race leader Chase Berry right now. Interesting to see what he can do with Jim Ott. He held out for 15. Now he's trying to try to get back around the 13 machine. As Jeffrey Myers still looking down low on that 3 machine, looking to try to get around him. As looks like CJ Gates got a little bit of a run there on Chase Berry. Chase Berry, I think, got a little bit tight. Come out of turn 2. And now he's trying to run on the higher line. So I think maybe got a little bit aggressive, burned up his tires a bit. Now he's got CJ Gates all the back bumper of him. Only about a 10th behind him. Across the start-finish line next time by, it will be officially 80 laps to go here. So they're going to have about 4 pit stops, or 3 or 4 pit stops left to go here before the end of this one. So I'm interested to see when it comes down to if they can make it. They can make it about. The last time I saw him hit around lap 53, so that means they can make it about 19, 20 laps. So it's going to go with 20 laps on a tank of gas. We went back green on lap 65, so that means they can go. They're going to have to go about 85 laps. So that's 1 pit stop, and then lap 40, 2 pit stops, lap 60, 3 pit stops, lap 80. So they're going to be 5 laps short. So they may have to do 4, and if somebody can stretch the fuel, they can only have to do it in 3. But these guys, probably the most closest racing we've seen so far. It's probably because the 3 machine's not out front. He's kind of trapped in dirty air right there in 3rd. Chase Berry leading the way, looking to try to go back-to-back. As Jeffrey Meyer continues to try to look to make a move in that 3 machine. Jim Ott is kind of patiently running right now in 3rd. I believe he's just trying to save his tires, not burn them up too much, save them for the long run, since he knows it probably most likely will be, as there's only 5 cars on track, or on lead lap rather. And as they go into turn 1, looks like 13 machine running the kind of the middle groove, 3 going a little bit lower, and 50 running even lower. So multi-groove racetrack here at Michigan. As you see, everybody kind of got tight right there. Jim Ott tried getting that draft at 13 machine, trying to get a run. Couldn't quite get anywhere with that, but now Jeffrey Meyer over the back one once again. See the 13 CC Gates run the outside lane right there, and that's actually going to cost him just a bit because now Jim Ott, who I believe is saving his tires, now has to run down to the inside. Looks like he's going to pick up the second position. Going to see if he can clear up going to turn 1 this time. Indeed he does. So now Jim Ott up to second. So he's going to try to fight back on the outside. Is he having a bit of a run? Gets the momentum off the corner. Looking to try to pull a crossover now. Down low goes CJ. Jeffrey Meyer right there behind CJ, looking to try to make this a 3-man battle now for the second position. As you see, CJ gonna go down low, almost some contact right there for second. And Jeffrey running the high line right there, trying to get a run off the corner. All a half second back as Jim Ott cuts off the nose of the 13. Aggressive move right there. He wanted to get that spot, and he said, "I'm gonna take it." Now CJ falls back to third, Jim Ott in second. Now he's going to try to hunt down last week's winner, Chase Berry. Another number 11 machine. He's trying to lead 12 laps so far here tonight, so he's going to have to lead a lot more to try to put the most amount of laps led, which is currently held by Jim Ott. He's led 53, so if he leads 40 more laps, he'll tie that. So he needs to lead 41 in order to get the most amount of laps led. I didn't hope Jim doesn't lead anymore. So I'm interested to see though. When this comes down to it, again, they're gonna have to pit 3 times. They're gonna have to pit 3 times. They'll be 5 laps short, about. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm guessing it's going to be more than 5 laps just because we haven't seen anybody make it further than completing 18 laps, technically. So, I mean, they could probably complete 19 if they absolutely had to. So 19 to 20 is what we're probably going to see. And I did hear some guys saving fuel into that caution too. So it's going to be interesting as you see Jim Ott get a big run on our race leader, Chase Berry. I believe, again, he was saving his tires. Now he's coming alive on this long run. As you see, 11 goes to the outside lane, kind of arcs it down into the middle a little bit. 3 goes in the middle, down to the bottom. Chase Berry gonna hold them off for now to the back straightaway they go. With 75 laps to go here at Michigan, which is also 150 miles. So pretty long race here tonight, 300-mile long race. As we are officially actually halfway that time by us. Now Jim Ott down onto the apron, using up the entire racetrack right now. Did not look like it was enough to pass the 3 machine for the lead. As it looks like 11 on the outside, 3 on the inside. 11, the 3 machine is definitely faster. You know, he caught up to him quickly after he was saving his tires for this long run. But 11 machine, Chase Berry smartly just went to the outside lane. You know, the 3 machines are not going to catch him if he keeps running the bottom. Went to the outside lane. You can just get such a big run off the corner. It's so hard to complete the pass if you're in the bottom that you're kind of stuck with it. So great job by Chase Berry trying to hold this race lead. So Jim Ott, though, has the advantage from across the line. He's going to lead that lap, I believe. Yes, indeed he does. So Jim Ott led that lap that time by. It looks like he might clear the 11 machine. No, he gets a little bit tight, washed up the track. Chase Berry continues to fight back on the outside lane. They've been side by side now for the last 2 laps. It looks like Chase Berry actually going to clear Jim Ott that time. As now Jim Ott looks to the outside lane. Chase going to go up to put the block. Yes, he does. He try to take his line away as he goes to the outside. Jim Ott goes to the middle to the bottom like he has been pretty much all race long. Chase gets to run off the corner, has the momentum. It looks like Jim actually gonna maybe have the advantage. They're side by side. Chase Berry got a lap, so they're racking up some lead changes for the way they keep going back and forth here. As Chase Berry continues to hold the outside, Jim Ott on the inside. And Jim has not won a race, I don't believe, since Phoenix, race number 4. So it was actually quite a long time ago he won. It's pretty hard to believe because he's been up here almost every single race. But Justin Wilson would always take us away from him. He was almost always running second. And this is his race to shine. Justin Wilson not in it. Chase Berry, though, he's really come alive the last few weeks. Won last week at Pocono, beating Justin Wilson in by 1/100th of a second. Now looks like Jim Mott, though, might clearly love machine that front straightaway. And he does. So Jim Mott back out front. Chase Berry put up a great battle right there. Under that second spot. So now we've officially had 8 lead changes here tonight. We had 2 cautions for 8 laps, so those being stage cautions. So pretty incident-free race out here tonight. So we only have 5 cars left on lead lap. We're just in 6 laps down actually in that 6th position. So I think he might be, yeah, he's on pit road. So it looks like he's called up pretty much tonight. Just kind of watching. That's the league owner from the his pit stall. So we now have 70 laps to go here from Michigan, 140 miles. Look like a track info actually here at this racetrack. Unfortunately, we cannot do that beforehand because we decided to broadcast a little bit late. But exactly 2 miles here at Michigan International Raceway. Track temp right now 105.01 degrees Fahrenheit, located in Brooklyn, Michigan. Weather here tonight, wind direction north, 2 miles an hour, air temperature 78 degrees, 55% humidity, and clear, and it's also late afternoon, so pretty nice conditions here for racing tonight, as Mark continues to hold the race lead, and Chase Berry, I believe, headed down pit road. Yes, indeed he is. Well, on the 50 machine, I'm going to come down with him. Well, I guess Chase decided, okay, I'm going to get past the race lead, I'm just looking on pit road, so good call by him. However, if it does come down to a fuel mileage race, which I don't think it will, but it very well could, 85 also comes down pit road, so only the 3 and the 13 stayed out. A couple of teammates, mind you. Interesting to see when they pit, but they can make it about 20 laps. About. We've seen them go about 19 laps. Or they completed 18 laps before they pitted, so that was late. That's the farthest we've seen anybody gone. CJ Gates went 18 laps, so they're a couple laps short. I just kind of rounded to 20, so they're three pit stops. They'll be 6 laps short, so the couple laps are probably a good 10 laps short actually. So we're going to see 4 pit stops in this run right here, unless they make it stretch it really far. It's not going to happen. So Chase Berry, he's third. He's a lap down, but he will get his lap back as soon as this guy start pitting. And if they stay out too long, they're going to lose a lot of time. Is Jim Moss going to come down pit road to see what CJ Gates does? Yes. So, couple teammates continuing to work together here. So, they're both going to come down pit road and make sure to keep it under that 60-mile-an-hour pace speed, or pit road speed, excuse me. And I apologize for that also. So, it looks like Chase Berry, oh, wow. He lost a lot of time on his pit stop. Maybe a speeding penalty for Chase Berry. I believe it was a speeding penalty for Chase Berry, a 30-second pit stop, just like what we saw out of the 3 and the 58 last week. So a speeding penalty for Chase Berry, that's going to cost him a lot of time. As it looks like he was going to be in contention for back-to-back wins, and that's unfortunately going to probably take him out unless we have a caution or something crazy happens. As Jim Mott, CJ Gates, very careful down pit road. They're going to come off 1-2. And there goes Jeffrey Meyer. Jeffrey Meyer going to pick up second here around CJ Gates, but Jim Mott's going to pull out the race leader. And there's Chris Hanna in 4th, and Chase Berry suddenly goes, remaining in race contention all the way back to 5th. So it's going to be tough to make that back up. He's going to absolutely have to have a caution. I'm sure he's definitely beating himself up right now in that race car. Tough break for him. Again, he was on a great run. Won last week in a photo finish. Almost on a laps last week, actually, just barely. As he got to the race lead, never looked back for about the last half of the race. But this one, he got up there, led quite a few laps. Was the only real contender for Jim Mott. And fortunately, he made a mistake trying to gain time. Pit road is, you either gain time or usually lose time. You don't usually stay even with the guys you're battling with. So it's all about how you make that pit stop. And it looks like he made a quick mistake, and that cost him a chance at his victory. Unless we have a caution fly, but again, only 5 cars on track, it's most likely not going to happen. So he's all by himself, 17 seconds back right now, unfortunately for him. And so therefore, CJ Gates in second, 3 seconds back. Jeffrey Meyer, he got around Jeffrey Meyer actually, who's 4 seconds back. Then you have Chris Hahn back there in 4th position. He's currently 5 seconds back, and Chase Berry's 17 seconds back. So tough work for 11 machine, but he won last week. So had a great run last week. Looking to try to bring that momentum into this race. Had a great job battling with the 3 machine. Unfortunately, he got that speeding penalty, and it's probably going to cost him a chance. But, I mean, you never know. We still have 3 more pit stops to go for these guys. I mean, you never know. The 3 to 13 to 50, they can make mistakes too. And you never know. Even anybody has a chance at this point. We still have a long race left to go here tonight. We only have 5 cars left on track. So the next pit stop window is going to open probably around lap 102 to lap 104. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens then. But CJ Gates ever so slightly catching his 3 car, but again, he's so far back, it's not going to matter too much. As he is knocking off a couple tenths a lap, but I believe the main issue is right now is that I think you know, I don't know if he's going to really have a shot for him. You see Chase Berry right there, 16.5 seconds back, fortunately for him. I think Jim's probably saving his tires again, honestly, at this point, so it's probably not such a great future for CJ, unfortunately, for the race win, as Jeffrey Meyer right before 3rd. But as I mentioned before, it's been a long time. Jim Mont has found victory lane in the Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series Season 1. And it's pretty hard to believe. Like I said, he's been top 3. Probably has been the 2nd best car week in and week out. Very consistent top 3. He's had some bad luck before. He's got involved in a couple of wrecks. You know, he only has 1 win this season. It's pretty hard to believe because it feels like he just dominates most of the races. Especially, you know, Justin's not here tonight, so it's either him and Justin. It's usually them battling with CJ kind of 3rd looking on, and Chase also right there looking on. But it's been him and Justin all season long. Justin's been winning the most of them. Now it's Jim's turn to try to win one of them, so Justin didn't make it tonight. So it looks like Jim Mont right now. Chase tried putting up a fight. Fortunately, he got caught speeding on pit road. But ain't over till it's over. We've got 3 more pit stops to go, most likely for these guys. So we're going to go a little bit side-by-side coverage here. We'll go ahead, be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
I used to feel alone, awkward, and self-conscious. I felt as if I was walking down an endless road leading nowhere. I suffered from deep depression, and I couldn't shake the pain. Soon I would catch myself having thoughts of suicide. I ached in pain for someone to come and help and tell me everything's alright. As I drifted off into my daily thoughts of emptiness, someone stepped in and reached out. They told me they were there for me. I later realized in a world this big, there will always be someone to confide in. I'm so thankful someone came to my rescue and made me feel loved. You do not have to suffer alone. Be the difference in someone's life and don't let another beautiful life be wasted. Don't wait until it's too late. Know the signs. Give light to someone in need. If you know someone who is suicidal, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK.
We're like Lafayette, Michigan right now as we see the 50 machine Jeff Meyer coming down on pit road out of 4th place. You saw him pancake the outside wall right there while running 3rd. Lost his spot as the 85 machine. And so he's going to come down pit road. Chase Berry going to go by as well. As he got that speeding penalty earlier on. So CJ Gates almost got on the wall right there. So these guys kind of struggling out here tonight. But out front, Jim Hunt out to a 5-second lead right now over CJ Gates. Just kind of cruising. And the unfortunate part for Chase Berry is the fact that these guys up here, you know, Chase Berry, or not Chase Berry, Jim Hunt and CJ Gates, they have no pressure pretty much. They're pretty much 1st and 2nd, and there's nothing really to change them. So, likelihood of them speeding up pit road pretty slim, as there's no real need to force the issue, and they can just kind of play it safe and not cost them, and not make a mistake that could very well cost them a chance at this victory. Chase Berry, he's coming back. He's 21 seconds back right now. He's catching everybody but Jim Mott and Chase Berry pretty much at this point. You see Jeff Meyer, he's coming off pit road right now. Short pitted just a little bit because he got on the outside wall, got that damage. He was slower, so he probably got that little bit of that damage fixed, which also cost him a little bit of time. We are on that 100 now. Next time by will be 50 laps to go. And thank you all for tuning in tonight's broadcast. Make sure to hit the like button if you are enjoying it, or if you're watching this in the past. Appreciate you also watching it after the fact. Make sure to subscribe for more racing broadcasts on iRacing. As on Tuesday, we'll head to Las Vegas for the TWR Truck Series.
85 pin.
Another mile and a half. As you hear right there, the 85 machine. Chris Sonny going to come down pit road. Actually left voice chat on, but worked out pretty well. So There comes the 85 machine. He's going to work down onto pit lane. Make sure not to speed. 60 mile an hour pace, pit road speed. He's going to go down all the way to 55. Just play it safe. Nice pit road entry there for Chris Hahn. Just going to kind of just cruise 57 right around there. He's going to, as Chase Bear actually also going to come on pit road out of 4th place, but overall 5th place once it all cycles through. So again, he got a speeding penalty in the very first round of green flag pit stops in this run, so he's well beyond the field. He's going to lap down right now, actually, as Jim Ott continues to lead. We have 49 laps to go. We're going to see if anybody else comes down pit road. CJ Gates going to stay out. Jay Meyer, he got the damage fixed, actually, so he's back out on the racetrack in 3rd. There goes Chris Hahn coming back off pit road to try to beat the 50 machine off pit road. I don't believe it's going to be enough. Oh, maybe it will be, actually, yeah. So it looks like Chris Hahn is going to come off pit road in 3rd, actually. Going to hold on to that 3rd position. Still 1 lap down since leaders have not pitted yet. As you see the Gates, he's actually going to head down pit road now. I'll run on board with him, make sure. He's down, whoa, down to 60 miles an hour. Gets a little bit loose on entry. Under hard braking, a little bit of aggressive pit road entrance there for CZ Gates. Got a little bit sideways, didn't lock it. It didn't get it spin. Did not spin it around. Great job by him, and just managed to get underneath the pit road speed just barely. So good puts up entry by CZ Gates. A little bit chaotic as he slides in his pit stall though and hits the pit road wall. That's gonna cost him quite a bit of time. And also very well damaged the left front of his car. So here goes race leader now, Jim Ott, down to pit lane. Michigan's one of those tricky pit lanes to get onto. Jim Ott, again, really cautious, doing 53 that time when he came down pit road. So very cautious, just make sure you don't speed, no reason to. You had a 5-second lead when pit stop cycles started happening. CJ Gates, who was 2nd, just made a big mistake right there. So I'm interested to see how this works out now for Jim Ott. So he rolls into his pit stall. CJ Gates, he's going to pull away. But rolls in the pit stall. Also, CJ Gates, he actually had a 30-second penalty, so maybe he actually was speeding. After all, I didn't think he was. But potentially, so now Jim Ott, he's currently still 2nd. Chris Hahn was not. Speedy Jeff Meyer is fixing some of the damage, which actually may have been what CJ Gates was also doing there, because he did get some damage. And you saw the right side tires right there, and Jim Ott went over the yellow line a little bit right there. Gotta make sure he does not get a black flag. That's a stop and go penalty if he does get that. So you gotta be really careful not to get that black flag, because that could very well cost him a win. That's even more crucial than Chase Berry speeding on pit road. So that'd be a lot more detrimental, rather. It looks like CZ Gates actually got passed by Chase Berry around pit stops. So they're gonna battle out here for this 4th position. 13 has way fresher tires. He's gonna blow past the 11 machine of Chase Berry. He short pitted kind of a little bit. So Jim Ott back out front. Chris Hahn actually up to 2nd. Great run for him. Oh, no, he's going to pass for Jeffrey Meyer, but nevertheless, great run for that 85 machine. Got wrecked out last week on lap 4 in his first start. And he's currently running right now in P3. So good run for him. Chris Hahn doing a great job in the 85 Mike / Mellow Yellow Chevrolet Camaro. Yeah, we'll give another quick shout out to our sponsors here. There's actually here right there. He is clutching and coasting. Right currently in P3, that may should be why he got past that for that 2nd position. As the leader, as a 14-second leader right now over Jeffrey Meyer. Chris Hahn right now, P3, got nothing to lose. Might as well try to save some fuel. Interesting call. I'm not quite sure why he would pit earlier than everybody else would, or not earlier, but everybody else, but earlier than CJ and earlier than Jim, when he's trying to clutch it, try to maybe save those few laps of fuel. I'm not quite sure if this is gonna work out for him, because they can give it about lap 123 or 124. So they're going to be about 6-7 laps short. I just don't feel like it's going to really be enough. I mean, you cannot save 6 or 7 laps, especially without going a lap down on track, which would cost you any chance to win anyhow. But anyhow, he's saving fuel. He's actually catching Jeffrey Meyer right now. I'm going to ride on board now with Jeffrey Meyer, see if he's saving fuel or not. If you listen in, this goes into turn 3 right there. And no, he's hard on it. But you're coasting right there. And you may question, what does clutching and coasting mean? How does it save you fuel? Basically, what it is you go, you're on the gas, and as you go into the corner, you don't actually lose too much time by doing this. Is what you do is you go to the corner, you're on the gas, you go to the corner where you would usually, go on as hard as you can and then brake. You let off a little bit early, you put the clutch in, and that pretty much kind of like shuts the engine off. It turns down the RPMs. The engine is not really revving anymore as much as it would be. It's not spinning the tires. It's disconnected from the wheels, so therefore it's not trying to power the wheels anymore. So it's pretty much just kind of on, but it's not burning that much fuel. So it saves you fuel because you're not on the gas, and doesn't cost you a ton of time. It also varies at what racetrack you're at, because you have to go slow down in the corner anyway. So it slows you down a little bit, costs you a bit of time, and it's an interesting strategy call though for Chris Hans, saving fuel. Again, I just don't think it's going to really pay off because he's 6 or 7 laps down on fuel. He pitted about 1 or 2 laps earlier than our race leader, who's 16 seconds, almost 17 seconds ahead right now. So just not quite sure if that's the right thing to be doing. But when you're 3rd place, you got really no pressure from behind, no pressure. You're not going to get any spots most likely in front of you unless something crazy happens. Might as well try something. I mean, he's going to finish top 5 no matter what. He's getting no pressure from behind for right now. Got about 2 to 3 second gap back to Chase Berry in that 4th position. Or excuse me, CZ Gates. Chase Berry is currently last, actually, 28 seconds back. In danger of going a lap down before the descent is over. So, across the finish line right there. Jamont coming around. It'll be 40 laps to go this time by. There it is. So, we're actually going to go back in another quick commercial break, side-by-side coverage, so it won't miss a thing.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free, both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website.
open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tires. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Even in a room full of people, you feel alone. You may feel yourself slip into the darkness, feeling undeserving of help, yet in need of a hand to guide you. Every 40 seconds, there is one death by suicide. But it doesn't have to be this way. Whether you can see it or not, you are so deeply loved and strong. You are worthy of recovery. Even in your lowest lows and even in your darkest moments, you deserve a brighter tomorrow. If you or anyone you know is feeling alone, don't hesitate to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-TALK, or the Second Floor Youth Helpline, 888-222-2228. There is always hope. You deserve a brighter tomorrow.
Welcome back live to Michigan International Raceway. It's become all fuel saving mode. Right now, Jim On has a 25-second lead. The 50 machine of Jeffrey Meyer. You saw him come down pit road in our side-by-side coverage right there. Chase Berry, he actually went a lap down right now. So he's currently 5th, scored 1 lap down. Or actually, excuse me, he's currently scored 4th because Jeffrey Meyer pitted. He has not pitted yet. He just went down a lap on pace because of the fact that he had that earlier speed penalty. Unfortunately, no caution came out for him. As you hear him actually trying to save fuel right now. They'll all have to come back down pit road. There's no question about it. But I feel like right now you hear 85 machine. He is really trying to save fuel. The 11 machine also trying to save fuel. He's coming a lap down though, so he's pretty much out of a chance at this win because it takes about a lap for the fuel cycle or the whole pit stop cycle. It's about a lap. So right now, Chris Hahn. He's currently in 3rd. He's clutching it in, trying to save fuel, making it as far as he can. I'm guessing he's trying to make it just on one more stop. I think that's his goal right now. Granted, he's going to have to go a good about 6 more laps on this run alone to do so. So it's going to be interesting. Jim Ott's still out on track right now. The only thing is how far back he is. That's how long a full fuel, whole pit stop cycle works. However, Jim Ott, at this point, he's like, okay, you guys are all saving fuel. He could just come down, take a splash and go, or not a touch and go, but full tank of fuel, take 2 tires, 4 tires, and he still can gain. When it comes down to it, he's only about what 6 laps short, 7 laps short, something like that. So that means he can come down, take a splash of gas, come back out. Only take about 8 seconds, and he's back out on the way. And actually, he's gonna come back down. He's gonna come down on pit road this time. As CJ Gates spun, entering pit road, and he just went back to his pit stall. That's gonna cost him drastically. We're gonna take a look back at what happened there right after the 3 machines pit stop here. As there you see Jim Ott. Actually, I don't even hear his engine on right now. So interesting right there. Maybe running out of gas actually is Chris Hahn, excuse me. He's still out on track. He's actually out of gas. Chris Hahn trying to make it as far as he can on that tank of gas. Ran out of gas. He's not coming down pit road. That's going to cost him a lot of time. As he's going to coast all the way to his pit stall. So, out of gas, 85 machine. We heard a 3 out of gas right there. It's actually Chase Berry. He may have actually pitted that round because he's still on track right now, actually. So, maybe not. I think he's just maybe saving more fuel than the rest of them. Is he out of gas now? It's sputtering. And Chase Berry now out of gas in turn 2. So everybody trying to make it as far as they can on tank of gas. Jeffrey Meyer is the first to pit. We heard Jim Hunt run out of gas on pit road. We heard Chase Berry, he's out of gas. Chris Hahn ran out of gas right before he got to pit road. So actually, now Chris Hahn's going to go a lap down, so that's pretty much his chances over. Cheetah Gates, he's 3 laps down, so he's pretty much quit at this point. I should take a look back at what happened to him, as, yeah, he was definitely not very happy in the chat with the race overall, as you see him right here. Comes down on a pit road. We saw him last time. He actually got a little bit loose. Coming on a pit road under braking. This time he just, yeah, he got loose. Tried braking, make the pit road speed, and slid into the inside wall. And yeah, he just immediately towed back to his pit stall. So he's gonna finish 5th here. So that means we only have 4 cars now left on track. I'm gonna take a look from the onboard shot here, like we did last pit stop with the 813 machine. He's actually gonna come back onto the track apparently. So just, yeah, there he goes, locks it down into the inside wall. Pretty heavy contact right there. So as pretty frustrated, CJ Gates back out on the racetrack, 5 laps down, however, or excuse me, 5th right now. Currently scored 2 laps down. So isn't Chase Berry, I believe. He did not, yeah, as he ran out of gas, that cost him a lot of time. So now we have 2 cars left on the lead lap. As there you see Jeffrey Meyer, 18 seconds behind our race leader Jim Hunt. And nobody else really has a chance at this point, even if they can make it on fuel. Even if they can make it on fuel, it's not going to be enough, because Jim could pit, come back out, and still be ahead of them. So it looks like Jeffrey Meyer, he's 2nd. Chris Hahn, he's currently scored in 3rd. Since CJ Gates spun out, he's 5th. So Chris Hahn, he's currently 3rd. And he's most likely going to sit that way. Probably not going to pass Jeffrey Meyer. Everybody else behind him 2 laps down. So he has no pressure at all. He's going to finish 3rd no matter what, unless something crazy happens. Chase Berry currently 4th. And CJ Gates currently 5th. So you see CJ Gates and there's Chase Berry. So that's literally the only battle. So here, Chase continuing to try to save fuel. The only shot he has at getting any spots at all. Obviously will not win the race unless the caution comes out, but we'll send inside as I'm battling ongoing right now. We're going to go back side by side. Actually, don't miss a thing. We'll be right back.
I actually, really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have, great cars and engines and things at KKR, so it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing. 3 wide action on a turn 2. Craig Kinzer, Casey Kane, and Kieran Pittman go get it.
I think the differences between, NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the car. With iRacing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's, enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And, early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend. It's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. That was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it, and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, faster than a lightning flash, rushing through the cool night air. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl. I wanna be the man that saves the world. So start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero.
We're back at live in Michigan International Raceway, or Speedway, excuse me, for the closing laps of tonight's race. 9 laps to go, and race leader Jim Ott crosses the finish line. Right now, he has put a spanking on the field, 20 seconds ahead of Jeffrey Meyer right now. There you see the 50 machine. Chris Hahn trying to make it on the field the rest of the way. He's still clutching and coasting that 85 machine right now. And so he's going to try to go for another 8 more laps right now in P3. Last car on the lead lap. Suzuki Gates actually going to make his way down on the pit road. He's 1 lap down along with Chase Berry. Chase Berry has been really saving fuel. CJ has not. So CJ's going to come down pit road. Fourth place position right now. Give it to Chase Berry. As Chris Hahn still, you hear him right there. He's trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can and make it to the end. Again, he's not going to have a shot to win this race, but looks like he's going to try to finish P3, which is where he's going to finish either way. So, unless he runs out of gas like he did last time, it was pretty costly. Not quite as costly as Chase Berry, but definitely still kind of costly. So he's going to try to push as far as he can. Jim Mott already made his pit stop. Came in, got 4 tires along with Jeffrey Meyer. And so Chris Hahn trying, if he pits, he already made his bed, and now he's just got to lay in it. So there you see the 13 machine, Suzuki Gates, can off pit road. Now he's officially 2 laps down. Chase Berry still 1 lap down here, really out of the gas, trying to save as much fuel as possible. At this point, it's just, if he can make it to the end, that's all that matters. He's not going to lose any spots unless he has to pit. So, save as much fuel as possible. I'm sure that's what everybody's telling him on this crew. But right now, Jim Mott out front by 21.5 seconds over the 50 machine of Jeffrey Meyer. He's coming around. He's led a ton of laps tonight. 120. He's going to around and start finishing this time by. Dominating performance of Jim Mott. Won stage 1. Had a bit of a miscue on pit road and a pit strategy rather for stage 2, and he kind of fell back. And that stage 2 ended up going to Jeffrey Meyer, but who's currently running in the 2nd place right now to the 3 machine. As it looks like Jim Mott going to put 11 of Chase Berry another lap down, which I believe might just put the 11 machine 2 laps down. I think indeed it does. So he also trying to make it to the end on fuel, even though I don't think he's going to be able to get 4th place either way it looks at it, because he's going to have to save so much fuel. He's probably going to end up leading the 13 by. He was coming in a hurry. Oh, actually, maybe not. He's quite a ways back. So maybe something for that 11 machine right there. Chase Berry, again, he's Suzuki Gates, he's really far back. So Chase Berry's just trying to make it all to the end. It looks like Chris Hahn, he's actually on pit road. Maybe. This is... Okay, the scoring's a little bit off right there, but it's back. So, here right there, again, just clutching and coasting it, trying to make it all the way to the end. A long ways to go. So we have 5 laps to go here. Trying to get as much as he can. Is he out of gas? No. Down on the apron, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can in the dirt a little bit. And now he's out of gas. That's his clutching. He might be just getting out of the way of race leader Jim Mott. Yes, I think he is. Jim Mott goes by, puts him 1 lap down. So now we have 2 cars left for the lap. Jim Mott has a 23.5 second lead over Jeffrey Meyer right now. Chris Hahn still in that 3rd position, just trying to make it to the end. And that's actually going to help him a little bit, because that means he has to go 1 whole less lap, which is going to be a lot on that fuel. So you just see him right there, not even on throttle. I think it's almost to the exit of the corner. So 3 laps to go here in Michigan. Only 6 more miles for Jim Mott to pick up his first win since Phoenix, 2nd win of the season. He came oh so close at Las Vegas. I believe he may have won on Atlanta. So maybe his 3rd win of the season. I have to go back and look after the finish of this one, but. He won Phoenix and has not won since. He had a good one at Auto Club, but just mostly picked up that one. Bristol, Texas comes in there. He had a good run at Texas, won stage 1 from the pole, but he did not win that one. Just Wilson also won that one. Bristol came down to him and Chase and Justin, and Justin picked up the win there also. Talladega's won by Jason Barham. Richmond was won by Justin Wilson. Or, excuse me, it was actually Richmond was Justin Wilson. Talladega was Jason Barham, I believe. That's the way it goes. And then I think it was Dover was in there. Just Wilson won that. And then we had, I believe, Charlotte. Just Wilson won in Charlotte. We had Pocono last week where Chase Berry edged out Just Wilson by just 1/100th, of a second. As Jim Ott gonna cross that finish line. 1 lap to go for the number 3 machine. Just 2 more miles from victory. 25 seconds ahead of second place Jeffrey Myers. Chris Hahn out of fuel. Coming to the white flag. He's out of fuel, which is going to cost them quite a few spots here. There's Jeffrey Meyer. I believe actually it's going to be close. If he can cross the start-finish line, he might be in the clear. Cause this means that Chase Berry and CJ Gates are going to pass him. Chase Berry actually hit the wall pretty hard right there. Through turns 3 and 4, out of turn 4, Jim Ott going to pick up another win of the season. First one since race number 4 in Phoenix. He's going to win, and I have a long wait for Jeffrey Meyer. Chase Berry's going to cross that finish line. He's also out of fuel, actually. He's going to cross that finish line, maybe 4th, maybe 3rd. He's coming across that finish line. Where's it going to be? So he kills across the line. It's going to be a 4th place finish, looks like, for him. Chris Hahn did indeed finish 3rd, still even out in front of fuel. There's Jeffrey Meyer in 2nd. He's going to cross that finish line. There comes CJ Gates in 5th. And that's the rest of your field. So Jim Ott, the race winner here tonight from Michigan. He's going to the front stretch here and do some celebratory burnouts after a dominating performance here tonight in that number 3 Trinity machine. There we go, sliding through the grass, Kyle Larson style burnout. He did pick up his first win since race number 4, so pretty long streak actually for the number 3 machine. With how consistent and dominant he's been pretty much this season. You know, Jess Wilson, we've talked about him a lot lately. He's been pretty much the dominant guy, but Jim Ott has always been the guy trying to take that win away from Chase Berry. Did it last week. Jess Wilson unfortunately couldn't make it to tonight's race, and Jim Ott was a dominant car of the field tonight. So as he continues to celebrate, we're going to come back for interviews, including our race winner Jim Ott, along with your other top 3 finishers. So don't go away, I'll be right back.
open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tires. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Well, Michael live here at Michigan International Speedway for the post-race coverage here for Michigan International Speedway for race number 13 at Atchison Motorsports Xfinity Series. And in fact, actually, Chase Berry did indeed get 3rd place. Susie Gates ended up getting 4th. Chris Hahn ended up finishing 5th as he was on pit road, ran out of gas, coming to the white flag, unfortunately. So he's gonna pick up a 5th place finish here tonight. So I'm gonna go live, bring our 3rd place finisher in here, Chase Berry. Chase Berry, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, Chase, you saw you up there much of the night. Contended for the lead there with Jim Ott. Led 16 laps in a pretty good battle there. You probably would, the only guy to really have a good shot at Jim right there. As you held the lead for about 20 laps there. Coming off a win last week, pretty good momentum coming in this race. And I also want to congratulate on nice paint scheme. I like that paint scheme. So, but unfortunately for you, come out 3rd place, 2 laps down for running a fuel in the last lap there after a little bit of pit stop strategy and whatnot. It's like we race, man.
To be honest with you, I didn't finish 3rd. Chris Owen did. He beat me to the line. He was on pit road, crossing for the checkered by 2 seconds. Just want to clarify that. So I finished 4th.
Okay, my scoring it's showing you in 3rd. So
he was on pit road whenever the finish line of the checker flag came out. So it's not. But I promise I'm not gonna be like that person. But he finished 3rd. I finished 4th.
Okay, so so top 5 finisher tonight, 4th place. Not a lot of guys showed up tonight. Probably had something to do with the iRacing issue, most likely. But So any shout-outs want to give for your 4th place finisher tonight?
Yeah, I want to give a shout. Jim and Chris. They did a hell of a job saving gas and all that. Chris did a phenomenal job saving gas. If I wouldn't have ran out of gas, I'd have been all right. But all right. That's pretty much it. So, congrats to Chris and top 3 and Jim for the win.
Yeah, certainly. And thank you for your time, Chase, and have a good night. All right, so that was your 4th place finisher apparently here tonight. So in that case, we're gonna bring our 3rd place finisher in, Chris Hahn. Let's see if we can get him here in the broadcast booth. So he finished it from pit road, actually. Chris Hahn, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Chris, you saw you up there much of the night. Kind of ran in the top 5 as there was only 5 guys really competing out there. We saw you do a little bit, fuel strategy there to the end. Try to save fuel. You ran out, coming to the white flag, but you still managed to pick up a 3rd place finish here tonight, being the 11 and 13 to the finish line. So I know you're new to this league. I'm pretty sure last week was your first start. Unfortunately, you got taken out there on lap 4, but this week you were able to show your what you had and stuck with your race there.
Yeah, the car definitely was a little bit tight for my liking. Could have been a little bit freer, but Michigan's always been a track that I really enjoy racing at. It's kind of got the wider corners, take a little bit more speed into it, but for me, not knowing too much about fuel strategy, I think it did pretty good coming home with the 3rd when realistically, if we were running head-to-head, I probably wouldn't have been able to touch the top 3 guys. But all in all, we did excellent. I got to thank Payday Racing for everything they do, Mike's Hard Lemonade, Melliello, and MDR Designs for getting us a pretty clean wrap here for us.
Yeah, certainly. And thank you for your time, Chris, and have a good night. Congratulations on 3rd.
All right, thank you, sir.
Alright, so that was your 3rd place finisher tonight, Chris Hahn, and the number 85 machine. We're going to haul on a little bit of fuel mileage as we're going to get an interview now with your 2nd place finisher, if we can find him. So we're going to line the cars on the track. Jeffrey Meyer, you're going to put him in the broadcast booth here. Jeffrey Meyer, do you have a copy?
Yep.
So yeah, Jeffrey, saw you up there much of the night in the top 3 pretty quietly. Finished 2nd, 26 seconds back. Not, obviously not nail biting at the end, but good solid 2nd place finish for you here tonight. Not a lot of guys showed up. May have something to do with the you know, the iRacing issue that we had tonight. But just talk about your race right there and our second place finish.
I didn't know what to do to catch Jim. I was fast at the track, but I guess not fast enough.
Yeah, certainly. And you ended up leading 3 laps, so you're going to get a bonus point for leading a lap. We saw you hit the wall there earlier, I recall, and you kind of ended up getting on off sequence pit stop sequence there as you pitted a little bit early to fix that damage in the 85 machine past you. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I had tagged the wall a couple times during the race and got about 10 seconds damage each time, so put me kind of behind the ball. Did it once earlier in the race, and I think it was the first stage, and then later in the race there, but was able to keep second stage clean and win that one anyway.
Yeah, certainly. We saw you actually, while we bring that up, you did pick up stage 2 victory, so 10 points for you. So good points there overall. You know, you got stage points in the first stage, 1 in the second stage, and up finishing second. But, you know, we always see...
keep cutting out.
I was talking about that. But yeah, obviously we saw that contact there between you and CJ Gates there coming to the close of the stage 2 ending there. Not quite sure, you know, what was going on there. I heard you guys discussing it in the radio. Just, you know, talk about that a little bit for us.
Oh, I just thought I had more room up there. I knew there was a couple lanes, and he just took a lower exit than I thought he was going to out of the corner, and didn't realize he was that low coming out. And we just touched.
Yeah, certainly, and congratulations on the second place finish. Any shout-outs you want to give for your second place finish here tonight? Any shout-outs you want to give for your second place finish here tonight?
Thanks to Atchison Motorsports for putting on the show, and you guys for doing the broadcast. It's been a fun night.
And certainly, thank you for your time, Jeffrey, and have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, so that was your second place finisher, Jeffrey Meyer, your stage 2 winner also. I'm going to go with your number 3 machine. Put up the win here tonight. Jim Mott, you have a copy.
I got you, Lucas.
So yeah, Jim, you know, a lot of guys did not show up tonight. Jess Wilson, including one of them. You know, you and him have had a head-to-head pretty much all season long. But you know, you dominated tonight's race, leading 126 with 150 laps, won by 26 seconds. 2 cars left in the lead lap. Just you know, you picked up stage 1 victory. Talk about your race here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I come to Michigan, I got it circled, and you know, it's one of my favorites, kind of my home track, if you will. But just kept it steady tonight, hit my marks, and you know, try to limit the mistakes on pit road has been kind of my Achilles heel. But yeah, not having Justin here is a little bit disappointing, but he had some priors to take care of, and we'll definitely see him next week.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, we saw you take some strategy there at the end of coming to the end of stage 2. You decided to take fuel only, I believe, and that ended up costing you a couple of spots there at the end as the other guys took 4 tires. We kind of saw pitch strategy the entire race long work out. We saw the 85 and the 11, them guys trying to save fuel to try to make it to the end. But you know, you were so fast, you kind of drove away. But just talk about a little bit of the strategy that went into it. What was running through your mind?
Yeah, sure. I mean, early in the run, I kind of wanted to see what kind of advantage the new tires would have over just fuel, and learn pretty quickly that just the fuel stop wasn't going to work. So I had some information going into the final stage, and I mean, you kind of said it there. I mean, I was faster than most of these guys out here, and nothing against them. It's just, you know, being in the lead, you kind of control the pace. You definitely control the pace, and how strategy is going to play effects. So basically what I did is just kind of pit with the second place guy. That way there's no advantage there, and made sure we're good on fuel for the last stage, and just kind of drove away.
Yeah, certainly, and no cautions besides the 2 stage cautions, much like what we saw at the sister track to Michigan Auto Club, also a 2-mile track. So you picked up your first win since Phoenix, I believe, race number 4. So you know, a little bit of a stretch there. But certainly you've been consistent. You're definitely doing well. I believe you're actually the points leader, if I'm not mistaken. So Great points day again for you, picking up your stage win, getting stage points, stage 2, winning the race. So any shots you want to give for your victory here tonight?
Yeah, as always, Roy, for putting this on, and Chase and Chris had good racing with them tonight, and look forward to having Justin back too next week. Should be a good one at Iowa. I think that's where we're going. And as always, thank you for what you do up there.
Yeah, certainly. And while you bring that up, actually, thoughts on next week at Iowa? Thoughts on next week at Iowa?
Yeah, I'm pretty strong at Iowa. That's going to be one that's tough. We actually raced there in another league, Justin, myself, and actually Chase included. And I know Justin's got a lot of speed. He does anywhere we go. So looking forward to see what we got for him next week.
Yeah, certainly. And another chapter of the head-to-head continues next week. So, I appreciate your time, Jim, and congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it, Lucas.
Alright, so that was your race winner here tonight, Jim Mont. He dominated 126 of the 150 laps. He's going to pick up the win for the first time here since Phoenix, race number 4. So, congratulations to him on the victory. And as we look at your results here, top to bottom, I'm going to get into that. So, Jim Mont picks up the race win here tonight. Jeff Meyer, only last car on the lead lap here, finishes 26.5 seconds back behind a race winner. We heard it there. Chris Hahn, he actually picked up 3rd place. A little bit of mess up on the finishing order right there on this ticker right there. So Chris Hahn, he's going to come 3rd. Chase Berry comes 4th. Susie Gates also 2 laps down along with Chase Berry and Chris Hahn. He's going to finish 5th. For Atchison, we saw him kind of have interesting pit entrances there, and maybe a penalty. Maybe it's just something he had to do. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. But he finished 77 laps down in his pit stall, 6th. Donald Floyd started the race, and he got a little bit of damage. He decided to park it for the night. He finished 7th. And those are all the guys that came out tonight. So, unfortunately, not a lot of guys showed up tonight. Like I said earlier, and also the reason why we had the late start to the broadcast, Irison did have some issues tonight. It was confusing. A lot of people got different errors. It was very weird. So, I've never seen that happen since I've been on Irison. So, very weird night on Irison. But, nevertheless, Jim Mott picked up the race win here tonight. And Jeff Meyer going to come 2nd, so good points today for him. But we'll see you here Tuesday for TWR Truck Series racing from Las Vegas. So looking forward to that one. And then also, of course, next week at Iowa Speedway for another kind of short track race. It's been pretty exciting there. And you heard it, Justin Wilson will be back there. So going to be interesting to see what the field has for him there. Is Jamont going to carry momentum from tonight's win over to that race? But again, thank you all for watching tonight's stream. Hope, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Appreciate you all watching. Have a good night.